Hi, it's Dan JD73 Goldman here for Future Music. Today we're looking at Michael Jackson's Thriller verse groove. I've used Mo2 BPM here, which is a fantastic MPC style drum box to create the groove, as you can see. And I'm using Lindrum sounds here, much as on the original record, I think, which is an LM1. And I'm tweaking up the velocities of the hi-hats here just to keep the feel nice and human. It also helps if you tweak the tuning of the odd hat here and there as well. Just again enhances the humanness of the groove. I'm doing the same for the hi-hats. Just pitching it up here. You can hear it's a little bit too much there, so I'm going to go back to the fine tune and just tweak that so it's a little bit more subtle. As you can see, I've used the Lin 2 quantize template as well. Here I'm using the EXS24 Roland 808 for the toms. I'm just going to bob back, add a little bit of reverb, as you can hear there, using the Audio Damage Reverence, which is a fantastic digital plate reverb emulation. Just tweak the reverb time a little bit. This wants to be subtle here, but make sure you use the pre-delay so you let enough of the dry sound through as well as the wet. Now we're going to look at the bass line to create an emulation of the Minimoog bass line using ES1. It's just a subtly tweaked version of the ES1 default preset. With a little bit more mix of the sub-oscillator. And here I'm running it through the bass amp plugin, using the top class DI warm preset and just adding a little bit more mid-range preamp gain and some extra treble there. And now we added a little bit more compression. Here we're going to actually add some reverb to the bass as well. Just tweaking the time up there a little bit. Again, about 61 on the pre-delay, just it lets enough of the transients of the start of the sound through and stops the reverb swamping the bass, but still gives it enough of a reverby sound there. Quick tweak on the EQ here using the low cut, and we're going to leave that at about around 70. Absolutely fine, don't be afraid to cut bass out of bass sounds, just helps the kick cut through a bit more, removes muddiness. So we're just cutting there at everything below 67 Hz. And now we'll just close that down. Moving on, next we're going to unmute the EXS 808 clap that I've played in. And again, using one of my favourite reverbs there, the Audio Damage Reverence again, and adding a nice amount of reverb there on the output mix, and just compressing that as well to bring up more of the reverb tail, which is a really cool effect on these kind of disco-y soulful records. Sounds pretty good to me now. Okay, now we're going to look at the guitar part, which I've already played in here. I'm just using a DX Finger preset from Logic's factory EXS24 sounds, as you can see there. Just find them in the factory section under guitars. That's just a standard sound there. And I've used a mono stereo version of Logic's Averb, which add a nice amount of airiness around the sound again, and also put it through the Logic guitar amp plugin, which is great. I'm just trying out the spring reverb here in the guitar amp, but I think I actually prefer the Averb's sound in this, on this track, so I'm just going to flip back to that. On the guitar amp, I made sure I've selected all the American cabinets and a 2x12 speaker with a dynamic option. Here I'm just tweaking up the Averb again. Now we're moving on to the compressor plugin. Again, just to control the peaks on the guitar and make it really sit nicely in the mix. Just letting a bit more of the attack through and taming the tails a little bit with the attack and release. Just bypassing there just to check it's improving the sound. Always make sure you bypass and just check that you're actually improving the sound, not making it worse. It's compensating for the gain reduction with the gain slider there. And here I've again used the ES1. Don't overlook the ES1, it's a great synth. And I'm using this for the Jupiter 8 style polysynth sounds. As you can hear there. Just sounds a little bit flat at a minute. So I'm just going to open the cut off a little bit at the top. Using the 24 decibel classic filter. Okay, we'll push the stereo reverb up a little bit just to widen the sound out. Plenty of pre-delay there as well to let the dry sound through. Just trying out the chorus here. There's not much tweakability with the chorus here, so I'm just going to use Logic's own chorus plugin instead of ES1 chorus and just tweak that a little bit. Sounding pretty authentic now to the original track. On the output mix, I'm going to compress it a little bit. Use a low ratio there. I only want to be compressing about 1 or 2 decibels maximum there on the bus. And finally, just the icing on the cake, another favourite plugin of mine at the minute is the Waves Kramer MPX tape emulator. Use the flux control just to add a bit more grit to the sound. And we're just finally going to go back to BPM and just pull down the snare drum sound a little bit. And there you pretty much have it. Just one last tweak of the reverb. There you go, Michael Jackson's Thriller, created all in Logic.